we're joined by Camo, one of the best profile pitchers in all of the Invitational for sure.
Thanks, man.
No,
Appreciate it.
n- no doubt. It's producer. It does look like we got a couple people saying the audio gone. Very easily could be them just giving me crap, especially because one of them is Sarv. But
Yeah.
didn't actually muted. Yeah, listen, Sarv, you and Tank can take that actually muted and shove it. No, but fellas, it is great to be back. Always a blast here on Tuesday nights. Thank you, Camo, for joining us. But as always, we would be amiss before moving on to week number 4. Tank, give us a rundown. What happened last week?
So last week, night 1 Tuesday, we all split 5-3. So a good start there. And then Thursday night, Seeger, you went 6-2. I went 5-3, and Diesel went 4-4. So currently, you are in first with an asterisk. I am in second at 34-14. Diesel went 9-7 overall, so that actually puts him in third out of our special guests, behind Former at 10-6, and still the man himself, Dilly Bar. Week 1 with the 12-4, still riding high there in first place for our special guests.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gotten worse every week. And what's that say about you, Camo?
I'm going 16-0, man. I'm getting everyone right. What else am I supposed to say?
All right, you heard it here. We'll see how that goes after the first matchup tonight. But definitely going to be a fantastic. And again, we're here halfway, and we're seeing a little bit of a split. But Camo, I know you're trying to get right in the middle there with Team Sonus. You're at 3-3. It's the bottom middle. There are a lot of teams 3-3, 2-4, 4-2, all jostling around for position. What's it like out on the pitch, just trying to battle for those playoff spots?
Well, I'm actually very grateful. A lot of the teams that we've lost to are top 4 teams, so we have to play a lot of the middle of the pack teams. So I'd rather play the middle of the pack teams than have to play like wet BBU in the end of the season. So I think we can definitely win some more games and hopefully get in a good position for playoffs.
Yeah, and Wet's one of those 4-2 teams. Definitely not exactly where they wanted, but we did see them in chat earlier this week, and I specifically remember sending a message about it. Yes, there it is. It is Brody on July 29th. I'm not losing again. So Wet is out for revenge, and we will get to their matchup later. But first, as always, we do have our matches off stream here tonight. And Tank, I'm going to start first here with you, because this matchup is set to be an absolute cluster. It is 6-0 Origin Gaming versus 4-2 Origin Gaming 2. What the heck is going to go on with this one?
It's great, because when I say Origin Gaming wins, I'm not wrong either way.
We're all wrong. We all lose on this one.
We all lose. No, we all really lose on this one if Origin Gaming 2 wins, right? And that's the hard part for me with this matchup is I know both of these teams well, and this is going to be the time where Origin Gaming 2 have been like hard calming and practicing all day, which, let's be honest, they probably aren't. They're probably going to go in there and wing it like normal. But they have that weird play style that can take advantage of Origin's lackluster defense that has plagued them all season. And that's really the hard part with this matchup is does the chaotic offense beat the neutral defense? And so I still think Lemon Puppy and crew can take down Origin Gaming 2, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people thought it would be.
Camo?
Origin Gaming won with Lemon Puppy. They're the team to beat. Like, they're undefeated. I think Origin Gaming 2 is also a great team, but I mean, Origin Gaming beat Wet like every top team, and I gotta stick with them if you're gonna pick anybody undefeated.
Yeah, no, I hesitate the fact that Tank said the chaotic offense, and he specifically said chaotic offense. It is just chaos. There is no deliberating offense, defense, possession. It is all chaos when it comes to Origin Gaming 2, and that does give them a chance, which scares the ever-living heck out of me, the fact that that's what works for them. But Origin Gaming, again, they're 6-0. The main squad there, they've been able to take everybody down. I think they're going to continue to take everybody. Yes, their defense is looks suspect, but everything about Origin Gaming 2 looks suspect. So half good versus all chaos. We're going with the half good, and Origin Gaming staying undefeated here. That's Origin Gaming, the 6-0 tank with Lemon Puppy and Rizzo and Bumpin'. That's who I'm picking here in this matchup.
Appreciated.
No problem. This is what for those of you who don't know, for those of you who don't know, Tank makes he's going through and labeling all these, and I was ambiguous with one of my picks earlier in the circuit, so we have to make sure that Tank knows who my picks are. But
yes, that's why he has an asterisk next to his name.
That's why it's going to be a more than a 1-game difference. I'm still going to win. Moving on to a couple of teams that have continued their winning ways. 5-1 Escape Velocity and 4-2 Team Ignis. And Camo, I know we were talking about Team Ignis earlier before we went live, but against a 5-1 Escape Velocity, where you sit with these two teams?
Escape Velocity, they're super, like, I don't know the word, like textbook. They're just good at everything. They don't make many mistakes. And Ignis, I think Brising, he's extremely good. I think maybe if he pops off, they might have a chance. But I mean, like Escape Velocity, they're 5-1. They're beating everybody other than Origin, but they're just very solid. You got to go with Escape Velocity.
Hank,
I would agree. It's Escape Velocity's on a roll, and I think a lot of it comes down to they got that really big win against Wet last week. Forcing game 5, I think it was game 5 overtime. They ended up coming away with that win, and they're going to be riding into it. Now, this is going to be the first, in my opinion, real test of the season for an Ignis team who started out 2-2. Yeah, they're 4-2 right now, but if you look at their wins, it's Circuitry Gaming, Radiance, and then BBU and Irate. So 2 teams that are at the bottom or tied for the bottom, and then 2, 3, and 3 teams where their losses have come to top half teams. And so playing one of those teams finally that's number 2 right now, we're going to see what Ignis is made of, and they have to step up if they want to take it. But I think Escape Velocity is just going to be playing too hot, riding high off of that big win.
Yeah, and Escape Velocity has had 3 in a row game 5s. Wet game 5, cool. Origin 2 game 5, awesome. New Horizons game 5, that's a 1-5 squad, and that's what causes concern for me with this Escape Velocity squad. But they've still been able to win those game 5s. Meanwhile, on the side of Team Ignis, they've only had 1 game 5. It was trash and they lost. So even if this does go late, and I think Team Ignis is going to come out and play very well against Escape Velocity, I think the later the series goes, the better Escape Velocity has to be able to pull it off. And I do think Escape Velocity will be able to pull off that victory, but it would not surprise me if it went to game 5 for the 4th consecutive match for Escape Velocity. Moving on to the next 9 o'clock match is Aspire Entertainment 2-4 versus Galactic Gaming 2-4. And Aspire, they came out firing in week number 1 and took down BBU, claiming Best Dragon with the 3-0. But then, and again, this is what concerns me with them, is they've taken down Circuitry 3-0, they took down BBU 3-0, but 4 other matches, all 4 they've lost, have been 1-3. Yes, 3 of them were against top teams. You have Escape Velocity, you have Wet, and you have Origin Gaming. So I struggled to go against them, but they haven't been performing at the level that they expected to. But Galactic Gaming, 3-0 Radiance, who's winless, and 3-1 RBG Claw, who's 2-4. The wins on both these teams are not that great, but the losses are better on the side of Aspire, still being able to take down some games. I think Aspire will be able to come out on top here. Tank?
I agree. I think just looking at the quality of win losses and strength of schedule for both of these teams, I think it airs a little bit in favor of Aspire there. And having Former on here and talking about how much his team practices and wants to turn the season around, I think this is a really good spot for them to start doing that, especially playing Galactic and then rolling into New Horizons later this week. I think their loss to Irate is going to get them back on track, and they're going to have a strong win tonight.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. I think Aspire has played some really good teams, and I don't see them losing to Galactic. I think Galactic's also a great team, but Aspire, they just been through it already. You know, I think they can start getting some wins near the second half of the season.
All on board with Aspire. Can we talk about how all three of us have picked the exact same three at this point? Camo is just a bandwagon coming in with here.
Well, I mean, he does blend in with everybody else, so
it's true. It's true. So he blends in so well you can't even see him until he moves. Moving on to the 10 o'clock matches off stream is a 2-4 RBG Claw and a 2-4 Circuitry Gaming and Tank. I know we got a little bit of information on this one. I have a feeling we're gonna go with it, but I'll let you break it down.
I mean, so Circuitry, their three main players are out. They're adding subs last minute. They're trying to get everything around to even play tonight. And that makes it really hard. And the old adage of if Dexter doesn't play, Circuitry doesn't win, I'm going to keep riding that until it proves me wrong. So I don't think Circuitry can take this one. I think RBG Claw gets the win here.
Camo?
Hey, I'm an RBG Claw fan. I was going to pick them either way, even if Circuitry, what their roster was there. I love watching Fluxu, Gag, and Corito. I think Corito's so good. Like, that kid is nuts. Like, I'm going RBG Claw. They've been playing well. They played, I forgot who they played last week, but New Horizons, and they played really well against New Horizons. So I'm going to go RBG Claw.
Yeah, and I was the only one on the RBG Claw train last week. I had them going 2-0. They ended up splitting 1-1, taking down New Horizons. I'm sticking with them. They're continuing to improve week after week. They're continuing to get better, adding in Corito and being able to integrate that in. And again, Circuitry Gaming. With subs, we just have no clue what is going to show up out on the pitch for them with those subs. How are they going to play? How much have they played together? I struggle to pick for them just due to that, regardless of the fact that I think RBG Claw is playing better, and I have Claw on top. The other 10 o'clock match tonight on stream is 1-5 New Horizons versus 0-6 Radiance Esports. And Camo got a couple of teams that are fighting right now. Again, we're halfway. They have plenty of time to make, but fighting right now to not have to play one of those top 1 or 2 teams come round 1 of playoffs. Who do you have pulling ahead here?
I gotta go New Horizons. They're solid. I mean, we played them, and yet one of the dudes was lagging like really bad, which was unfortunate for him. But in general, they're just a super solid team. Radiance, I don't think they've won a game yet. I mean, no offense to them. I think they can win a game, but I think New Horizons is gonna take it in 3.
Yeah, in 3, I'm not so sure about, but I do have New Horizons. Again, they lost to RBG Claw. They lost to Sonus, as Camo was talking about last week. But I keep going back to that escape velocity. They took them to 5 after defeating Galactic. Like, they're playing incredibly, incredibly well week 2. There was some ping issues and whatnot, but as they look good, they took a BBU to 5. The games against Wet were close, and New Horizons looks better than a 1-5 team. They just need to capitalize. But I'm going with New Horizons.
Yeah, I would agree with that. New Horizons, they kind of feel like the Team Sonus of last season, right? Like, there's a lot of potential there. They have really good wins, but then they have some really disappointing losses.
Just less heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's less heartbreaking, even though I'm just as invested in those guys as I was Team Sonus. But I think Corky's going to be able to get the boys around and get them refocused. And as long as ping isn't an issue, I think New Horizons takes this one in at most 4.
At most of 4. Well, moving on here in week 4 for our streamed matches tonight. Starting at 8 o'clock is a 3-3 Trash Esports and a 3-3 Irate Esports. A couple of 500s currently sitting number 7 and number 9 overall. And Irate, they started out with that 2-0, but then they started playing those top tier teams. You have Eclipse, you have Ignis, you have Origin Gaming 2, lost all those but bounced back against Aspire. Meanwhile, Trash, their wins are against Galactic Gaming, Circuitry. They only have that one victory against Ignis, which, is a spot above them. But again, Origin Gaming 2, Eclipse. So both teams having, if you can call it such a thing, good losses. And, it's not like they're being defeated by the lower half of teams, but they also haven't been able to make that next step to be able to start separating themselves above the middle of the pack teams. We have 5 teams that are currently 3-3, or 4 teams that are currently 3-3, and they need to make that next step. Again, Trash has the history, and I know that they've been playing short-handed. I think they're going to get back on track here. They always seem to find a way the second half of Invitational. It's the Trash way. They look like crap in the first half, and people start to lose faith, and they're like, we're going to win. We're going to get second. Like, I don't know where it comes from, but that just seems to be Trash's MO, and I have them winning over Irate tonight. Tank?
Yeah, I do as well. I feel like there's some inner turmoil going on with Trash right now that just... whatever it is, they need to put it aside. They need to figure it out. They need to come back as a team like they do every season and play like we know that they can to get the win. And so if they can do that, we're going to see the Trash that we've seen for the last, 4 circuits? 3 circuits? 4 circuits? I can't even think anymore. But I think this is a good week to get back on track, taking on Irate and RBG. And I think even if they play Tuck, Nico, and Murky, that's a very, very good lineup. Or even if they sub in CG here, depending on who shows up, I still think they can take down Irate. Even if they play...
I'll finally be different. This was one of the matches that it's hard. I've played Irate, and they're so fast. And if you're a team that's not ready for it, you will lose them. It's I don't know how to explain it. They're just so fast and they're very mechanical. But if you don't understand how to play against them, you're gonna lose them. So I think Trash is a great team, even without CG. But I gotta go with Irate. Everybody's picking Trash. I gotta be different, So I'm gonna go Irate.
Yeah, and for the record, to be able to explain fast, that means they just get to the ball before the other person. Like, that's speed. That's how you explain that. Just so you're aware. Moving on to the 9 o'clock match is, and we're gonna start with Camo on this one, is another pair of 500 teams, is 3-3 Best Buds United versus a 3-3 Team Sonus. Camo.
So I'd be a very bad captain if I didn't pick the team. So I think I'm gonna go with Sonus. I think BBU is a great team as well, but if they're putting OWAM in, then we're definitely winning. So,
calling out OM. And okay, so to me it's trends, and for this one we have Sonus, who lost to 3 of the top teams. They started off losing against Eclipse, and then took Wet to 5 in Game 5 with 11 seconds on the clock, lost that one, and then got swept by Escape Velocity, but then have come back and won 9 out of the last 10 games that they've played. But BBU's done the same. The difference is they don't have those quality losses. Aspire, they lost to, defeating New Horizons. Ignis is the only team that they've lost to that's in the top half. They've not played another team that's even in the top 8. And I think Sonus winning those matches and being incredibly close to those top teams, I have Sonus continuing the momentum and going to be able to take down BBU.
I was, unlike Seeger, actually listening to Camo in the pregame, pre-show when he said that one of their best players just had his wisdom teeth taken out yesterday and is going to try and play through that. But also, this is shaping up to be your standard Team Sonus throw like we saw all last season. And so BBU takes the win here.
Have fun being wrong.
I think them not communicating may make them play better.
That is true. Just treat it like a scrim. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's my point. They can't talk. They can't. It's just they're all good. But moving on to the 10 o'clock match and Tank. What a match we get to cap off the night. Two teams. I already talked about one of the players in these. Wet Esports 4-2 and Eclipse Esports 4-2. Both of them trying to make that push to have a solid, secure in third place, potentially second, depending on how the escape velocity match goes. Where are you at with these two?
So let's scale it back for a second. So Eclipse's second loss came to Origin Gaming 2, where Eclipse had two players who were not prepared to play at all until game time. One even hopped into chat and said, I was going to play, but it looks like they're making it, so I'm not going to play. I don't need to warm up. And then 5 minutes later, he's in the lobby. So Eclipse going into that one, they had the odds stacked against them, right? You have all three subs playing. No one was ready to play. The team wasn't ready to play together. Let's just scrub that one off the record. Like, just throw it to the side. It's not needed there. But Wet is looking to avenge two missed opportunities last week. First one against Origin, where Brody had the open net with, I believe it was Cruncho pushing down the field going for the bump. He just had to put it on target. Rushed his shot in the moment, shot it wide. Origin came back, wins that game 5. Same thing against Escape Velocity in game 5. They had a couple opportunities to close it out, just couldn't get their shots on target. And with them coming into chat and saying they are not going to lose again, you know what? I find it really hard not to believe him when he says that. So I'm going to go with Wet in 5.
Amo?
This is hard, man. This is the one that I looked at and I was like, this is a hard pick because me, I'm a huge Reveal fan. I think Reveal is amazing, but Wet's also Wet. You know, you can't not pick them. You know, they're really good. But I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna trust the man himself, Reveal. I think Eclipse is gonna take it in 5. It's gonna be close. I think Eclipse is gonna take it. But if Reveal doesn't show up, then I guess my prediction is wrong. So I'm gonna go kind of making a Reveal.
Yeah, no. I go back to it and I'm pulling it up again from Brody. I will not lose again. Time to put the words onto the pitch and see how it plays out. I got Wet. I'm trusting Brody. I know that he's gonna hunker down and gonna go after it. I'm sure everybody on Wet is as well. Eclipse Esports. I hate to pick against either of these teams, but that confidence and we know they're having fun and having a good time, and now a couple losses on their record that they feel they probably shouldn't have may be the kick that they need to turn it on high gear, and I would not want to be the team to stand in that wake. Moving on to the Thursday night matches, we have 2 matches that are going to be off stream. And speaking of, it is a 4-2 Wet Esports and a 3-3 Irate Esports. And again, I hate to pick against Wet and Irate Esports. They don't have a win against the top team. You have a Wet team that is absolutely looking for revenge and looking to take down teams. This is no longer we have a target on our back. We're putting a target on every other team out in the Invitational, and we are going to methodically and systematically eliminate every single one of you. And that is why I don't want to play against Wet. I don't want to choose against Wet, and it's going to be Wet Esports taking down Irate. Camo?
Can't go against Wet. I had him losing today, but I think Wet's gonna win out after. If they do lose today, I have them winning out the rest of the series. I don't think there's any other team in the Invitation that can beat them. They look really good. Like, they lost 2 close games to Origin, and Origin's basically a pro team. They're almost, and they lost to Escape Velocity. Escape Velocity looks good as well. So I guess I'm going Wet.
Same. It's wet.
Yeah, now you have to get wet like Dilly. You have to continue that. You pick BBU, you have to continue that trend.
But it'll crack my dry skin. Can't do that. I'm not gonna pour water on myself. You're ridiculous.
I'm okay. Moving on to the other 10 o'clock match that is going to be off stream is a 5-1 Escape Velocity and a 4-2 Eclipse Esports. And again, 2 more top level teams. Camo, where are you at with these two?
I had Eclipse beaten Wet. I gotta go Eclipse again. Like I said, I don't have much to say. I already kind of said it all for Tuesday's match or for today's match. But I think, like I said, Escape Velocity can definitely take it. They're 5-1 for me. They're really, really good. Like, they're very solid. They don't make many mistakes. And if, Eclipse doesn't come to play, then I think Escape Velocity will win. But like I said, I'm still gonna have to go with Eclipse.
Hank?
This is a really, really tough one to pick. I'm going to go with Escape Velocity in this one, just because I don't know. I feel like that team has so much chemistry. They've been playing so well together that they're just going to keep riding that high from taking down Wet, staying number 2, and they're going to have a really strong week and show that they belong to be up at the top where everyone was figuring it was going to be Wet and Origin. Escape Velocity is going to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, but again, this is the part that sucks about the Swiss is when we have to pick, and because these two teams, I don't want to go against either of them, but I'm going to stick with my prediction, and I have Escape Velocity defeating Team Ignis. I feel that they're going to have a little bit of a letdown against Eclipse, who's not going to be able to win against Wet, and therefore I have Eclipse coming back, getting revenge, and proving that they deserve to be one of the top teams against Escape Velocity, and Eclipse Esports on top. Moving on to some B-Stream matches. As if Tank, you're still up to it at that point. It is currently planned, but health obviously comes first. But planning on at 8 o'clock on the B stream, Origin Gaming 2 and BBU 4-2 versus 3-3. And Tank, I know this really pains you, but I'll let you go first.
I have said it since week 1, and I will forever say it. Whether I think they're going to win or not, I'm going with the Org team because that is the type of person I am. That dumpster fire of a team somehow pulls out a win against BBU.
Don't make me pick Poke. Don't make me pick Poke. Don't do it, but I have to. I hate everything that they do. I hate them so much. But they win, and it is so frustrating. And BBU, again, listen, I love the BBU guys. They're absolutely fantastic, but they've not proven this invitational to be able to take down one of the upper echelon teams. They're 3 wins. Their best win is against the team that's sitting in number 12 currently. And you have Origin Gaming that the only 2 losses are against number 1 and number 3, or sorry, number 2 and number 3. So I got to go with Origin Gaming too. Camo?
All right, I know that everybody's probably yelling at me in the chat right now, so I'm gonna have to go with BBU. No one believes in them. I think they can do it. I think Origin Gaming 2 is a great team, but I think BBU can, take them down. They're very efficient. They like to play at the passing game a lot, and I think if they connect, I think they'll be able to take them down. Origin Gaming 2, also very good, very mechanical, but if they're not, calming and trying to cover those passes, I think BBU will be able to take them down. It'll be close, but I'm going BBU.
Moving on to the 9 o'clock match on the B stream is a 2-4 Circuitry Gaming versus an 0-6 Radiance Esports. And I know we talked about the Circuitry Gaming squad earlier, how they're playing with subs. But again, we just haven't seen the performance from Radiance after they've basically had to rebuild their team from the ground up. It just hasn't quite been there. And we have no idea who is going to be playing on Thursday. Probably not going to be their full team, not going to be their main roster, but I still think that they're going to have enough to take down Radiance, who unfortunately just has not. It's a shell of the former team that we saw in spring here in summer. So I do have Circuitry coming out on top. Tank?
Yeah, I have the same thing. And I mean, we've talked about it week in, week out. Radiance really losing those 2 players to Ethos, we didn't think was going to make as big of an impact as it has. But I mean, like you said, Radiance has just been a shell of itself since those 2 players have departed, and they just haven't been able to find any chemistry or get anything going. So I don't see it happening this week. I mean, Circuitry's probably going to be their best chance. They'll probably get a game win off of them, but I just don't see them beating Circuitry.
Yeah, same here. I think I got Circuitry Gaming. I mean, yeah, hopefully their main team shows up. If they do, then I think they'll for sure win. But Radiance, I hope they can take a game off them, but I don't know if they'll be able to take a series, even with the few subs. But I'm gonna have to go with Circuitry.
All on board with Circuitry. Moving on to the 10 o'clock match on the B stream is a 6-0 Origin Gaming versus a 4-2 Team Ignis. And we all know Tank is going to stick with the Org. But Camo, where are you at with these 2?
I mean, I gotta go with Origin Gaming. I mean, they're 6-0. Like I said, or Tuesday they're gonna be 7-0. But I think they'll be able to play this week. I mean, Ignis is a great team, but I mean, you got Lemon Puppy. He's an old RLCS player. Resinal's insane, and Bunton's also insane. Like, that whole team is really, really good. And I don't know if Ignis will be able to keep up with Origin's mechanics and speed.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of they're 6-0 for a reason. Who's going to be able to take them down? You know, this is not picking against Team Ignis. This is more picking for Origin Gaming. You know, we did it with Trash when they were the champions until they were defeated, and you know, and they were, and we stick them with Wet until they're defeated. So, you know, again, you got to go with the hot team. The team is 6-0. They're undefeated for a reason, and Origin Gaming on top here over Team Ignis. Thank you. Have anything to add on that?
Nope.
Okay.
Summed it up pretty nicely for me.
Moving on to trying to save your voice for Cass. So moving on to the 8 o'clock match for the A stream here on this channel. Aspire Entertainment 2 and 4 versus 1 and 5 New Horizons. Camo, where are you sitting between these 2?
You know, Aspire, they're a very, very solid team. So is New Horizons. I'm gonna go New Horizons here. I think they're just like that's it. They're very solid. They don't make many mistakes. Hopefully their internet's for Corky is doing. Hopefully his internet's pretty good. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if Aspire won, but I think New Horizons gonna get the upset here and take them down.
Yeah, this one's tough because again, Aspire, they play so well against the top teams, and they've been able to defeat 2 of the bottom half teams. But New Horizons, they take BBU to 5, they take Escape Velocity 5. But you know, I got to go with the best dragon so far, and that's going to be Aspire. I have Aspire over New Horizons. It would not surprise me if Corky gets good internet and keeps good internet and is able to take down Aspire, but I do have Aspire winning.
So I am going to go with New Horizons. I have faith in them. I've been riding them all season, hoping that they'll get the turnaround that we want. If his internet's fine, I think they take it. But also, since Former's been on, has Aspire won a game or won a series?
Yes. Yeah. Last week they 3-0
they beat Circuitry. Okay. I was gonna say he might have been there cursed.
Circuitry forfeited that. I think Circuitry forfeited that. Pretty sure.
Yeah, and
I think it might have been.
Best dragon because they have the head-to-head against you.
True. Until you beat them, they're best dragon. That's how this works. But no, I think Corky and crew, as long as internet's working fine, they're a really good team. We saw it in the open qualifiers. They just haven't quite been able to prove it yet with things not working out for them. But I like the confidence that Corky has, and I like how much work that team's putting in. So I think they can get the strong win here.
Moving on to the 9 o'clock match on stream. Camo! Oh, Camo!
Hi.
We're starting with you because this is, again, 3-3 Team Sonus versus a 2-4 Galactic Gaming. How much faith do you have that Blake won't be able to talk?
Oh, this is Thursday, so if Blake's not talking by Thursday, then we got a problem. But I'm not trying to gas my team up a little bit, but I got 2 of my best friends on my team. You know, even if we lose, I'm still having fun. But I don't think we're gonna lose.
That is not what counts here. What counts is you picking the correct team.
Yeah, we're here to win, not make friends.
I'm thinking Team Sonus. I got Big B, Big Blake. He's gonna lock it down, and I got Mechanical God, pay to win, Pay-to. My team going Team Sonus.
Pay to win. Oh my goodness. It is like we are EA all over the place here. But you know, Team Sonus, again, I swear, and you are here talking about it, Camo. If I pick y'all, because again, I picked you in the first one. If I pick you in this one, it's 2-0. We're gonna have some words come Worlds. I'm just saying. I'm just saying this is not a threat. This is not a heavy veiled threat.
You could take all your anger out on Blake. He's going to Worlds now.
Yeah, I do have Team Sonus over Galactic Gaming. Again, you have to go with the trend, and they've won 3 consecutive. It's difficult to pick against them when they're on that streak.
I agree. I'm going with Team Sonus. Either way, I win, right? Because either Team Sonus wins and I get it right, or Team Sonus loses and they get to break my heart and I get to talk about it next week. Like, this is a win-win situation for me.
It absolutely is, and we will pull up a picture of Blake and have our producer like slap it across the screen, throw it in the trash or something. Moving on to the 10 o'clock match on Thursday is a 3-3 Trash Esports and a 2-4 RBG Claw and Tank. I know you love both these teams. I know you love all the players here, but when it comes to who's going to come out on top, then that nightcap, where are you sitting?
It's tough. Drew was in here last week when they ended up beating New Horizons, and everyone was telling him that I had no faith. And like I said to him, like, they've been slumping. They haven't been playing well since Jared left the team. They hadn't been quite able to find that chemistry. You're starting to see it develop more and more, but I don't think it's quite there yet to take down Trash. I think it'll be a close 5-game series, but I think Trash comes away with that win.
Emma?
I think it's going to be very close. It's going to go game 5. But Just Tuck beat me in 2s yesterday, so I got to go with him. If he's beating me in 2s, fair enough.
It's the old hybrid pick.
Yep. He's dominating. I got to go with Trash. They're very
But Camo, I have to ask you, is that a lock?
It's a lock.
Don't do it. No.
Oh, all right. All right. So
I've
been on the RBG Claw 3 games consecutively now. And since Camo picked Tuck because he beat him and locked it, we're going RBG Claw.
You just ruined me, Camo.
RBG Claw.
Change your pick, man.
Nope. I learned my lesson from changing my pick last time.
Stick with me, man. I'm right. I promise.
Oh my goodness. But hey, that is our lineup for this week. Again, tonight on this channel, we have at 8, Trash and Irate. At 9, BBU and Team Sonus, and at 10, Wet Esports and Eclipse Esports. On Thursday on the B stream, Health Dependent 4-2 Origin 2 versus 3-3 BBU, Circuitry and Radiance, and then Origin Gaming and Team Ignis. On this channel, the A stream, on Thursday at 8, Aspire and New Horizons. At 9, Team Sonus Galactic Gaming, and at 10, Trash Esports and RBG Claw. We are halfway through, and the games are just continuing to get better and better. Thus wraps up the pre-show here as we're getting ready for our first match of the night. Again, here at the top of the hour is 3-3 Trash Esports and 3-3 Irate Esports, trying to make that push to move themselves up in the upper half of these teams. Thank you again, Camo, over there on the Team Sonus, for joining us here tonight. Always a blast hanging out with you and chatting a little bit of insight from the teams and from the players. head on out, and we will see you back here in a little over an hour. For everybody else, we're going to head to a quick BRB screen. When we come back again at the top of the hour, Trash Esports and IRA Esports here in the Summer 2022 Invitational.